from Hard Rock Stadium. It's the final game of the preseason. The Miami Dolphins and the Tennessee Titans.
Yes, it's the preseason finale at newly named and newly renovated Hard Rock Stadium. And what a palace it is. We welcome you here as the Miami Dolphins play host to the Tennessee Titans. Both teams 2-1 coming into this last preseason game before the regular campaign gets underway. And welcome everyone, I'm Dick Stockton along with the Dolphin legends Bob Greasy and Nat Moore and our South Florida Chevy dealers keys to the game. Two rookies who have not yet played because of injuries are going to play in this game today, and that is Kenyon Drake, the running back, who was picked on the 3rd round, and Xavier Howard, the corner, picked in the 2nd round, playing tonight.
And two guys we're excited to finally see. These are guys that are both playmakers on defense. You've got Xavier Howard. He was the guy that the Dolphins coveted in the draft. He has great recovery ability. He's a lockdown corner. And then on the offensive side, Kenyon Drake, a running back that plays special teams, has great speed, catches the ball well out of the backfield. Hopefully we're going to get some big plays tonight. Bob, what players will you be watching?
Well, Nat, I'm looking for a third-team quarterback right now. Ryan Tannehill, Matt Moore, the top 2 quarterbacks will not play. Zach Dysert and Brandon Dowdy. The stats look about the same. Both of those guys will get to play tonight. Dysert will start, and Brandon will start probably the second half. They may earn themselves a job here tonight.
3 down and 1 to go. The opening act for the 2016 regular season is nearly set to begin, but first there awaits a curtain call on the preseason and a final chance to make a lasting impression.
The final game of the preseason is often more about survival than success.
Touchdown, Dolphins!
In August, that has already claimed its fair share of casualties comes to a close with a game where many of the regulars may get rest before the rigors of September come calling. But make no mistake, there are always jobs on the line in Week 4. Roster spots remain ready for those willing to take a chance and make an impression. Special teams may spell the difference between securing a spot and searching for one. 60 minutes are now all that separate first impressions from final decisions. For some, tonight marks the end of a dream. For others, the journey is just beginning. Dolphins preseason football on CBS 4 is sponsored in part by your South Florida Honda dealers. Stop in now for great savings at the Honda Summer Clearance Event. By Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Duffy's Sports Grill, sponsoring this broadcast in Spanish on SAP. By AutoNation. Make no payments for 90 days on any new car or truck. And by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
And we're set for football, and tonight's weather report is presented by Ram. And it's certainly a bit windy right now and mostly cloudy, and we're kind of lucky down here in South Florida because it's getting really testy, guys, up north with the big storm in north of the state.
Yeah, very, very fortunate that the weather is going to be further north and hitting South Florida directly.
The Dolphins have won the toss, and they will receive, and tonight's game is presented in high definition courtesy of BrandsMart USA. So this is going to be the finale, and a lot of the most of the starters not playing for the Dolphins, although the Titans say that their starters will play maybe 1 or 2 series at the most, and that means Marcus Mariota will see him. He was the 2nd pick in the draft last year. Mike Mularkey is the head coach, and he's old school, and 2 years with the Dolphins. He was the offensive coordinator in 2006, tight ends coach a year later, and he is a hard-nosed guy.
And what school did he go to, Bob?
Purdue?
You wish.
I guess
he's
the
a
University
Gator.
of Florida.
All right. We always have to get the Gator mention in here, and to listen to tonight's game in Spanish, be sure to enable the secondary audio programming or SAP button on your viewing device. SAP services tonight are brought to us courtesy of Duffy's Sports Grill. So Kenyon Drake is going to get in action in a hurry because he's going to be in the end zone to return the opening kick. Ryan Suckup will be kicking off for the Titans. So here's Kenyon Drake, and you heard Nat talk about him. He hasn't played, and he had a 95-yard kickoff return against Clemson in the championship game for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And this is returnable for Drake on the 1-yard line. Kenyon Drake on his first return, and he brings it out beyond the 20, always a good thing, and he's tackled at the 23-yard line. So tonight's starting lineup brought to you by Publix, and begin at the quarterback spot where, as Bob mentioned, Zach Dysert, who was 6 for 7 against Atlanta, 4th team, 2015, but Adam Gase knows him well because he worked a little bit with the Bears and the Denver Broncos. So Dysert will start the game, and Jay Ajayi is the running back. He won't be in there long. Gets the carry on first down and picks up a couple of yards, and a loose ball and a fumble picked up by the Titans, and it is picked up by Rashad Johnson, the former Cardinal. And as you know, all turnovers will be reviewed, and let's see whether Tennessee got one there. Pete Morelli is the referee tonight.
Not a good way for the Dolphins to start the game. A fumble on the first carry.
And look at the look on Adam Gase's face after that turnover. And the former Cardinal making the play. And now Marcus Mariota will have the ball at the 21.
Ball comes out before his knee looked like his knee came down, but you know, you can't put yourself in that kind of position. You've got to be able to hold on to the football. It's a little humid out there, a little damp, but by the same token, this is good work, good time to get some work in some inclement weather type situations. And you know, if Ajayi's going to be the guy, he's got to be able to tote the mail and can't afford to put it on the ground.
Not a good way to start for
Mariota's not in there. Matt Castle is the quarterback. He warmed up, and here is Derrick Henry. And talk about the Alabaman returning the opening kick, Kenyon Drake. How about Derrick Henry, the second round pick from Alabama, leading rusher on the Titans, and a penalty flag is down after a gain of about 7.
Didn't Henry win the Heisman Trophy?
Yes, he did. He won the Heisman Trophy.
I thought he did.
Your thoughts were correct.
Number 72 outside. That penalty will be declined.
And that penalty is against, for the Dolphins, Cleon Lang. So offside.
Well, we've had two penalties and a fumble, and there's been 2 plays called. Run, and everything is not going well for the Dolphins here to start the game.
And a personal foul as well. So it will be 1st and goal at the 7-yard line for the Titans. Matt Castle came over from the Cowboys in his 12th year as a quarterback, backing up Mariota, who not playing, and the quick out at the 5-yard line, driving for the end zone. The hands go out, and he did not get in. That was Rashard Matthews, who had a career-high 43 catches last year for the Dolphins, and he is stopped at the 1-yard line.
Rashard Matthews, a 7th-round draft choice back about 4 or 5 years ago, really had a great year last year for the Dolphins. In free agency, went out and was signed by the Titans, and really has had a pretty good preseason. Here's another look. Big, strong receiver. Got great hands. Just stretching out, trying to get it across the goal line, but not in for the touch.
He didn't get in. And here is the touchdown. Derrick Henry goes in for the touchdown. And so the turnover, and the Titans march in to take the first lead.
That was way too easy. I mean, Derrick Henry just pranced into the end zone. No resistance. No hitting at the point of attack on the defensive side. Just got blown off the football.
So Henry, who's averaged nearly 6 yards a carry in preseason, puts the Titans in front, and Brian Suckup adding the extra point, hopefully. for the Titans.
What a gift that was, huh, guys?
7-0, Tennessee. Not a good start. Score off of the turnover, and Derrick Henry going in from 1 yard out for the touchdown. Scoring drive brought to you by South Florida Honda Dealers. And so they'll kick off again, and this time Aldrich Rosas, a rookie from Southern Oregon, will be kicking, and Kenyon Drake again is back.
That's the bad news is they got to score a touchdown. The good news is we get to see Drake return the kickoff.
Again, from the 4, brought it out past the 20 the first time, turning the corner, loses his balance, but gets a few more yards and takes it out beyond the 25, where Rosas, the kicker, makes the tackle.
Well, guys, all preseason we've seen the kickers kick the ball 7-8 yards deep in the end zone. Twice in a row we've seen Tennessee pooch it down just inside the goal line, just kicking to a side and trying to pin him in. But when you've got great speed like Kenyon Drake, you're able to bounce it outside. That time he lost his footing. Otherwise, that would have been interesting.
I thought he saw some open spaces ahead of him.
So it'll be a first down at the 26. Ajayi fumbled on his one try. This time he breaks it for a first down, getting beyond the 40-yard line. Tonight's starting lineup brought to you by Publix, and a 16-yard gain. And there you're looking at Griff Whalen. This is a big game for Griff Whalen. Make no mistake about it. For him, he has a chance to be the number 4 wide receiver. He's a 5th-year guy, came from the Colts, and also has been good on kick returns as well.
Well, he's a multi-purpose receiver that can play all positions.
This time, Ajayi is knocked back for a loss. David Bass came in, number 51, and a loss of 3 yards. Well, you've seen him play mostly for Washington. Brian Arakpo, second year with Tennessee, and a former first-round pick, led the Titans with 7 sacks. First 6 years with the Redskins, and a 3-time Pro Bowler. It'll be second down and 14. Back to the 38. Dysart with time and dropped by Ajayi. Boy, Ajayi wishes this would start all over again.
Yeah, he's having a rough night so far. He puts the ball on the ground, drops a pass that he had a chance to pick up significant yards, maybe get close to the first down. And, he's the guy that's in that battle for the number 1 slot with Arian Foster.
Adam Gay said, this is a game that can make a difference. Somebody catches fire, you never know. So, and it could be someone off the bench. Someone in the game right now could really help themselves. Third down and 14. The pass out on the flat is caught. And short of the first down is Leonte Carew, the rookie from Rutgers. And he'll be about 7 yards shy of forced down, and they'll kick it.
Guys, we don't see the Dolphins get the first down here, but little old Kareem Grant is the guy that's throwing the block to spraying Carew for a reception on that particular play. You talk about how small the guy is, and you worry about him getting injured, but he's out there throwing his body around, blocking for his fellow receiver.
Kevin Byard is back. Jakeem Grant. What's going to be his role? Matt Darr, who's been terrific in preseason. Specialists are all set. Look at this kick. Inside the 5. And Kevin Byard doesn't get much. So good coverage, good punt. And Jordan Lucas from Penn State, the 6th-round pick. And that's going to be important. Coverage on special teams. You can win a lot of points by doing well on that. Dolphins and Uber have partnered up for 2 new initiatives. The Uber Zone, located in Lot 14 at Hard Rock Stadium, is where fans can be dropped off and picked up before and after every game. Uber Tailgate is 20 private spots offering everything you will need for a great tailgating experience for each game. Visit dolphins.com/Uber for more information. First down on the 18. Alex Tanney is the quarterback. Spent time with several teams, and the handoff is to Derrick Henry, who scored the touchdown, and he picks up a couple of yards. Neville Hewitt making the tackle. Neville Hewitt has played well. Bobby McCain and Xavier Howard, as promised. Howard is starting at cornerback. In the secondary, Isa Abdul Kudus and Michael Thomas are the safeties. Cameron Wake, Ndamukong Suh, Earl Mitchell, Mario Williams, Jordan Phillips not playing tonight, as is Jason Jones. Second down and 8 for the Titans. Fake a pass, handoff to Derrick Henry. The Heisman Trophy winner picks up 2 more. Spencer Pasinger makes the tackle.
Much better job done in the middle this time by Chris Jones and Julius Wormsley, stacking up the middle, the 2 tackles.
Pasinger, one of the top special team players, and a backup linebacker, number 42.
Tony Lippett has come in, who has started every game at cornerback until tonight, but he's in as a 5th defensive back on 3rd and 5. Short drop by Tanney, but he completes the pass to the 31, and a first down for Tennessee, caught by Harry Douglas, the former Falcon, who gets 9. Vance Joseph, defensive coordinator, who told us before the first game that of all the people he is known over his years, the simplicity of Wade Phillips has stuck with him more than any other. And we know what Wade Phillips did with the Denver Broncos defense last year.
Simplicity, huh?
First down at the 31. Tight formation. They go to Henry again. And this time the Dolphins are there. Another 2-yard pickup. Julius Wormsley has been a good pass rusher. And right now, let's check in with the 4th member of our team, Kim Bokamper. Bo.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about a little battle tonight in the linebacker situation. We're talking about Neville Hewitt and Spencer Pasinger, 2 guys that are really important right now, especially with Jelani Jenkins sideline. Not sure what his status is going to be for the opener, but when you look at these 2 players, very different players. Spencer Pasinger gives him a veteran presence there, a guy that knows what he's doing. He's consistent, smart, reliable, plays all the linebacker spots, both in base and nickel. Consistency, his biggest thing. Neville Hewitt, a lot more plays that come with flash. He's athletic, explosive, but inconsistent, something they want to see a better recovery out of him in this game. Again, both of them battling for that job. If it's open, when opening gate comes around next week, the Jelani Jenkins sideline.
5-yard gain. And it was Derrick Henry on the screen and Mike Hull making the tackle. Let's not forget Mike Hull.
Oh, yeah. And when you talk about those linebackers, all 3 of those guys, including Mike Hull, are great special team players.
Yeah. They've got the team made by just being special team players, and they're also backup linebackers.
Now it's 3rd down and 2 at the 39. See if the Dolphins defense can get a stop here. Here comes pressure on Tanney. He hangs in there, and the pass is going to be caught by Douglas, and that'll be a first down at the 46-yard line. Howard was covering Harry Douglas, the veteran wide receiver, and a big gain by the Titans.
10-yard penalty.
I think we got a little
3rd
flag
down.
there.
And that's going to bring it back. Pete Morelli indicating the penalty against the Titans. Holding is the call.
Howard had the coverage on that. He was right with him.
Not surprised there was a hold with all of the good-looking pass rush in there by the Dolphins. Tanney held in there, so it'll be 3rd down and 12. Far cry from a first down. Tanney with time, his pass, and it's picked off by Tony Lippett. Lippett still driving and will go down at the 35-yard line. Tony Lippett. And you never can have too many corners. And the former wide receiver from Michigan State with a big play there, and the Dolphins can do something here with a turnover, first down.
And guys, what we saw there was the length of Tony Lippett as he goes back. This is a well-thrown football, but watch him go up like a receiver. He played wide receiver, as Dick talked about at Michigan State. Goes up, catches the ball in his hands, and then becomes an offensive player. This is just an outstanding job by the corner of buying a little space, dropping off, getting in a zone, and then going up and taking the ball away at the highest point.
So Lippett not starting tonight, but already making a big contribution. 7 turnovers forced in this preseason. Here's Damian Williams, who's coming in running back, and he gets about a yard.
And guys, you know, when we talk about the Dolphins running back situation, it's a logjam. There are several guys that are in direct competition where tonight really matters for them. We talked about Kenyon Drake. You got Daniel Thomas. You've got Isaiah Peed, who is not even playing because of injury. Damian Williams, Arian Foster. So, I mean, a lot of competition at that running back position.
Well, the injury to Isaiah Peed really put a monkey wrench into the planning because he was looking very good. Here's Damian Williams cutting off to the left side, tripped up, and a good defensive play made by Damian Stafford and limiting Williams to just a yard.
That play by Stafford really kept it from being a big play because he had good blocking out in front, and Stafford was able to knife through and get him down by the ankles.
Peed was the leading rusher, averaging nearly 7 yards, and we don't know how long he's going to be out now, and good receiver as well, so that puts everything up for grabs. Williams remains in there on 3rd down and 8. Zach Dysert looking left, throwing left. Pass is caught close to the first down. Rashawn Scott. And he's a yard short of the first down as he picks up 7 yards. And we'll see what Adam Gase does here, where it'll be 4th down and a yard.
And guys, this is just you. Football, it's a first down.
4th down and 1. So practicing the short yardage, and it's Damian Williams, and he's not going to make it. And it's going to be Mehdi Abdesmad.
Line got beat there, Dick.
Yep. Trying to go with Williams up the middle, and so the Dolphins are stopped. Trying to gamble on 4th and 1. Wouldn't in the regular season, I don't think, at this stage, but they practicing short yardage. 7-0 Tennessee. Was sponsored by Mercedes. On Monday, the Miami Dolphins announced that they had traded defensive end Chris McCain to the New Orleans Saints for a conditional 7th-round pick. And on Tuesday, the team announced that they have placed defensive end Dion Jordan and linebacker Zach Vigil on the reserve non-football injury list. Vigil, an undrafted rookie linebacker who made the team last year, and of course Jordan, the 3rd overall pick by Miami in 2013, and unable to get going is Alex Tanney, and he'll be stopped way back at the 11-yard line.
You know, we keep talking about safety and keeping players healthy and etc. There was a perfect example where the official decided he was going to keep the quarterback safe because the quarterback actually got up and was starting to make a move.
Untouched.
Nobody touched him.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I'm sticking up for my quarterbacks. He's agile enough that he just didn't trip himself. He got stepped on by the center or one of the guards where they took a back step and caught his foot.
So now 2nd down and 19. Handoff to Henry. Henry breaking a tackle, breaking 2. Here's Derrick Henry. He'll have a first down. What a runner. Bob, did you know he was the Heisman Trophy winner last year?
I thought I remember him.
Michael Thomas on the tackle, but not before Henry picks up 28. You know, he has scored a Tennessee TD.
Did you know this guy is 6'3" and a pound less than 250 pounds? 6'3", 250, and he's shifty. Now, I don't know if he can block, and I don't know if he can catch, but I know he can run.
He can play. First down at the 42. Here's Henry again. How much do they have to see before they know what he can do? Derrick Henry runs for another big chunk of yardage and knocked out of bounds at the 35 by Neville Hewitt. So a run of 28, then a run of 23, and missing a tackle was Mike Hull on that play against Henry.
Once again, the Dolphins lose containment, and Henry's able to bounce it outside. And this big fella can move. And when you look at this Tennessee Titan football team, they want to run the football. They want to be like the Dallas Cowboys, mix it up, play action pass, but they want to run the football.
Hard-nosed, old school, and don't forget DeMarco Murray didn't start. They have him as the starter. Antonio Andrews now in, and the pass is thrown short. Flag is down. Would go as another first down. Was Harry Douglas, and it would be a first down at the 23 with Hull and McCain making the tackle.
Number 69, defense. Penalty is declined.
Penalty is against Jordan Williams, and they decline the penalty, so the 12-yard pickup will count, and another Titan first down.
There we saw the frustration on the face of defensive coordinator Vance Joseph, as he's just not getting any penetration, no pressure on the quarterback, and the not controlling the line of scrimmage versus the run. At this point, the Titans are doing whatever they want offensively, and Terry Robisky, the offensive coordinator, is winning this matchup.
Biscuit's got to be smiling now. First and 10 at the 24. And here is a fake to Andrews, and the pass is caught out on the flat by Jalston Fowler, fullback. Not many teams still have fullbacks, and you can see the flag thrown there. So
it's going to be a horse collar.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, horse collar tackle. Number 46, defense, half the distance to the goal. Automatic
and you remember,
first down.
You don't have to get inside the pads anymore. If you get to where the nameplate is and bring him down, that's also a horse collar.
Well, it almost says that if he's out in front of you, you just got to let him run, because you cannot tackle him from behind anywhere high.
Neville Hewitt committing that penalty, and he did grab the nameplate.
You're on top of those new rules, aren't you? You want to give us a few more of those as we go through here,
When they come into play, guys.
Fourth preseason.
When they come into play.
First
and goal at the 6, and another penalty. Bet you this is not a new rule.
Encroachment, number 73, defense, half the distance, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Julius Wormsley, encroachment, so it's half the distance, and it'll be first and goal from the 3.
Wormsley has really had a great training camp and a good preseason. Got 3 sacks. That time, he got pulled off on the hard count.
Just under 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. It's been all Tennessee. And here is Andrews getting to the goal line, stopped short. So it'll be second down and goal from the 1. Pasinger was in there. I don't think Pasinger is battling for a job, frankly. Do you guys think so? I think he's in good shape. Yeah.
Led the team in special team tackles last year.
I think he's there.
Yeah.
And he has the trust of his teammates, and that was said by Adam Gase, and you can't say anything better about that.
Well, I think the big thing with Spencer Pasinger is that if one of the 3 starting linebacker goes down, is he the first guy in?
Might be. Second and goal. Here's Andrews, and he spins his way in for the touchdown. Antonio Andrews with the touchdown, and with 1:11 to go in the first quarter, it's 13-0. Mike Mularkey's team 2-1, so rough start here.
Yeah, the attitude that the Dolphins have come out with in this final preseason game is that, I don't know, they're not matching up with what the Tennessee Titans are playing.
Aldrick Rosas will attempt the extra point. And don't forget, this is the first time they will have played. I know it's not the regular season in the new Hard Rock Stadium, as it has been refurbished. And Rosas' kick is good. So Andrews scores, and the Titans lead 14-0. We're back, and there you see one of the great video boards, and we'll talk more about the stadium. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross in the second quarter will come in and discuss this terrific place. And Bob, what was your reaction when you walked in tonight?
You know, I've been coming to this place for a long time. And I walked into the end zone and I walked out onto the grass and I looked around and I just said, wow. I said, I wish I could have played in a stadium this nice.
Of course, they didn't have stadiums this nice then, but I know what you mean. Kenyon Drake will go back again to return a kick for the third time in this first quarter. Aldrich Rosas will be doing the kicking. And this kick will sail out of the end zone. Darren Rizzi, the special teams coach, and he'll take it out on the 25, says that it's going to backfire, this new rule of bringing it out to 25. Teams will kick inside and hope they don't get to the 20. That one still going. Back here at Hard Rock Stadium, Dick Stockton, Bob Greasy, and Nat Moore. And the Dolphins will begin from the 25 after the touchback. Zach Dysert starting the game. Brandon Doughty scheduled to play the second half tonight. Play action for Dysert on first down. And the pass is caught by Damian Williams out of the backfield. Good fake and a good power drive. Gets it out to the 30 for a pickup of 5. Well, there's no better team to get your news from than Rick Folbaum and Rudabeh Shabazi. Weeknights at 5 and 11 only on CBS 4 News, the official home of the Miami Dolphins. Ulrich John is the left tackle. Sam Young, the right tackle. Dallas Thomas and Billy Turner are the guards. And Craig Urbick, former Bill, is the center. Williams. Not much there. Picks up a couple. 1 yard. It'll be third and short.
Hey guys, look for that offensive line to play a lot of snaps tonight. There's only one other lineman, offensive lineman available, Jamil Douglas. Everybody else, the starting 5, has been pulled for the evening. It will not play at all. So, you know, those 6 guys are going to get a lot of work.
Yep. Laramie Tunsil had his foot caught in the turf in practice. And they said if it's a regular season, he would play. But why take a chance? So that'll do it. That's the end of the first quarter here at Hard Rock Stadium with the score. The Titans 14 and the Dolphins nothing.
Dolphins preseason football on CBS 4 is sponsored in part by...
Start of the second quarter, and Coach Gase said it may be the 4th preseason game, but you always do learn something. And, of course, for me, I get another chance to call plays, which is good for him. It'll be 3rd down and 4, spreading out with 4 wide receivers, and Dysert's pass is nearly intercepted by Sean Spence. It was intended for Griff Whalen, and that might have been a touchdown if he had picked that one off.
Yeah, good play by the linebacker. It was he was playing a short pass, and that was just a little option route. Whalen broke to the outside and almost picked off.
Matt Darr will kick.
Yeah, Sean Smith had a big play last week where he shook it loose and they were able to pick it up and run for a touchdown. That time he sort of read that play and was in on the possible interception.
Kalen Reed, rookie from Southern Mississippi, is back deep. And loses the ball, picked up by a teammate at the 20-yard line. And that was Kevin Byard, who was in the right place at the right time, because muffing that kick was Reed.
There's a good look at the special teams coach, Darren Rizzi.
Darren Rizzi's also the assistant head coach.
Oh, yeah.
So he handles a lot of the details for head coach Gase.
Yeah, he's really been an ally and has helped coach out. You know, first-year coach Adam Gase has so many different things on his mind, and Darren is able to step in and help him with a lot of those things.
Ball at the 21. Antonio Andrews, who's scored the second touchdown for the Titans, is the setback with 3 wide receivers. And here is Alex Tanney. And Tanney's pass, and did he hold on to it? He did. Catch made at the 35 by Trey McBride, number 10, and a gain of 14.
I think Shamil Gary is on the coverage and slips down, and just a good thing that did a nice job of getting both feet down there, Bob. Made sure the catch got both feet down instead of worrying about trying to catch it and turn up and run.
Rizzi has that red flag, and that's his responsibility, and he told us he can throw it anytime he wants. He doesn't have to have a checklist.
Well, as far as Rizzi is, I'm not sure.
First down at the 36. Here's Andrews with the carry, and he's wrestled down. It was Spencer Pasinger along with Mike Hull, limiting Andrews to a pickup of 2.
Guys, when you look at this offensive line, everybody talks about zone blocking, etc. I'm watching Tennessee doing a lot of trapping where they're bringing that guard down and they're trapping and creating that crease in the defense. You know, makes it very tough for the defense because they're not able to push it down and keep everything tight.
2nd and 9. Fake to Andrews, and it's drilled and intercepted in midfield by Bobby McCain. Bobby McCain still on his feet and brought down at the 23 by the running back Andrews.
McCain was playing the slot, the nickelback position, and he came off, and the slant route just picked it off.
Bobby McCain is a guy that everybody loves because he competes every play. He might get beat, but he's not going to get beat because he wasn't competing. He reads the eyes of the quarterback, gets back, intercepts the ball, his 2nd interception of the preseason, and he's in a battle with Michael Thomas for that nickel position when the season opens.
26-yard return by McCain, 2nd interception of the game. Tony Lippett had the first, and so now it'll be first down at the 22. Daniel Thomas checks in at running back. Play action. Dicer has an open man, and it's Marquise Gray still on his feet, and Gray is stopped short of the goal line. They'll mark it down at the 1-yard line. Gray, the former Buffalo Bill, picks up 21 yards, and he's fighting for a backup tight end spot and making a mark there.
And guys, when you're fighting for a spot, there's no such thing as running out of bounds. Now watch him turn it up. Good block that time by Griff Whalen, and he just runs through 2 or 3 would-be tacklers to try and get that ball in the end zone.
And Daniel Thomas goes in for the touchdown. Thomas scores. And it was a quick
the ball was across the goal line before he fumbled it.
No question. All you have to do is get the ball over the plane. That's if you're a running back. A receiver, well, that's something else.
That's a great move on his part, but you don't want to get stuck with that ball out there. You got to get it out there, Bob, and get it back to your body. Good thing the official saw right away and broke the plane.
It's a good thing he saw it.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to review it anyway, as they always do, all turnovers and scoring plays. You get tired of saying it, but sometimes you forget that it's all reviewed, so they are going to take another look. And if he kicks the ball, you know that it was okay. Andrew Franks. For the extra point. So it was a touchdown, and Franks' kick is good. And the Titan lead is cut in half. It's now 14-7. 2nd interception of the game for the Dolphins. And it's Bobby McCain who gets it done. And a touchdown by Thomas. Reception by McCain and the touchdown by Thomas, quickly scoring. And it's 14-7 still early in the 2nd quarter. And Andrew Franks will be kicking off to Kalen Reed. And there is Bobby McCain, who's starting his 2nd preseason game. Started the 2nd one. Impressive. He's had a good year, as this kick will sail out, and the Titans will start at the 25.
Well, Bobby McCain gets this whole thing started as he gets back in great position, sees the release of the football, intercepts it. Nice job by Dicer to get the ball in the hands of Marquise Gray, who does an extremely good job of running with the football after the catch, and an outstanding job of getting the ball across the plane by Mr. Thomas, as he's trying to make this football team.
And, of course, a guy who is second tour of duty with the Dolphins. Here is the flip to Andrews, trying to go outside. Flag is down. Good hustle by Mike Hull on the play. Linebackers really penetrating, and maybe a holding call. It looks like a hold.
Holding. Number 10 offense, 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Trey McBride holding against Spencer Pasinger. And there is Dick LeBeau in his 70s, the defensive coordinator, one of the great assistant coaches of all time, I would say.
He's been in the league, what did I say, Nat? He's been in the league 44 years.
Yeah.
Second year as the defensive coordinator at Tennessee.
With the Steelers for so many years.
Yep. So
after the penalty, first down and 20. So they had a hold against Pasinger. First down and 20 at the 15.
Delay of game. Offense, 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
Well, they said Marcus Mariota was going to start, and the starters would play a series or two, and Mike Mularkey crossed us up. We didn't see Murray or Mariota, but Derrick Henry showed what he could do as the backup. Matt Castle was in for one series, the 12-year veteran, and now Alex Tanney. Delay of the game, now first and 25. Tanney has spent time with several teams, originally signed back in 2012 by Kansas City. Screen pass to Andrews. Good tackle in a hurry by Chris Jones.
Chris Jones did a nice job of reading the block of the guard, saw the screen, felt it out, and came right down the line of scrimmage, able to make the tackle for a short gain.
Former starter with the Patriots. He was impressive early, and if he can stay healthy, he's a good guy to have with his experience and who he was with.
Well, he is fighting at a very crowded position. Jordan Phillips, Chris Jones, Julius Walmsley. You know that Sue and Earl Mitchell are going to be here, so he's looking to impress the coaches here tonight.
Andrews brings it out to the 20, gets 4 yards before Mike Hull stops him. Mike Hull from Penn State. If you're a linebacker from Penn State, you already have a leg up, no?
He was one of 3 free agent linebackers that made this team last year.
Mitchell and Hewitt were the other 2 backers who are free agents. Now third down and 15. And a chance to put the Titans on their heels. Tanney's quick pass to the outside of the 20, and the Dolphins are there. McBride catches it, but Jordan Lucas, yes, another Penn State guy, 6th-round pick, was there to make the tackle, and it'll be 4th down and long.
Lucas made a nice play. He was man-to-man on the play, fought off the blocker, and made the tackle.
Griff Whalen, and he's got a chance, as we said, as return kicks, looking to give the Dolphins good field position. Brett Kern, veteran punter.
Griff is trying to force the Dolphins into keeping 6 wide receivers by his play tonight.
Short kick. And Whalen wants no part of that one. It'll go out of bounds between the 45 and the 50. So Kern doesn't get off a good kick at all, and the Dolphins will have good field position with just about 5 minutes going by in the second. SunPass have partnered to offer the SunPass Plus program, a convenient, less expensive parking payment option for the fans. Log into your SunPass account, enroll in SunPass Plus, and look for the SunPass logo when entering lots 9 to 18 at Hard Rock Stadium. The Miami Dolphins are the first sports team in Florida to partner with a prepaid toll program. Daniel Thomas, the running back, and Thomas gets the call and picks up 1 yard.
Nat, you got SunPass, you got Uber, you got, what else you got?
Well, we got a football game here, Bob, but
as you
really look at what the Dolphins have been able to do
closely,
through the
I'm
years.
just trying to plug them, you know what I'm saying?
I understand. I mean, the relationship that the Dolphins have started to develop with so many different partners. Uber, SunPass, of course, the big one, Hard Rock. And we'll have Steve Ross here in the third quarter to tell you everything.
All right.
Meanwhile, Griff Whalen makes the reception and picks up 7 yards. So it'll be third down and about 1.5 yards.
You can never have too many good receivers, guys. When you get a young guy like Griff Whalen that understands the spacing on the field, knows how to find those holes, he's valuable to his quarterback.
Hey, how many really good possession receivers have made it big in this league and are still doing it? Third down, call it 1. Dysart gets time, lost his one. Incomplete to Thomas. Thomas was wide open, all alone, no one within 50 feet of him, and couldn't quite reach it. So it'll be fourth down, but that was a well-called play.
Well-called play, and he threw it early, Bob, when he really had no pressure in the backfield. He just wanted to get it to him in such a hurry because he was open.
Exactly.
And just flat out missed it.
If you err, you don't want to miss it long. You want to miss it short, so you slow him up. Just make the completion.
I said no one within 50 feet, no one within 5 inches of him. There was a defender there. Fourth down and 1. And if flag is down, we'll have a false start penalty against the Dolphins, so that'll make it fourth and 6.
Number 75, offense. 5-yard penalty remains, fourth down.
That was Jamil Douglas, who's maybe fighting for his playing life with the Dolphins in this last preseason game.
Yeah, that particular play, he lined up at the left guard, and Dallas Thomas lined up at the right guard, and Billy Turner is at the right tackle. So a lot of cross training, just a fraction early, and hurt your ball club when you make those kind of mental mistakes.
Dar will be kicking to Kalen Reed. Short pooched kick lands on the 20, and Reed covers up at the 10. That was a really good punt by Dar, obviously. Inside the 20, no return. Matt, whatever you wanted to say. When we come back, you have a couple hours left. Shine. South Florida turns to Chief Meteorologist Craig Setzer and Meteorologist Lisette Gonzalez. Weather, morning and weeknights, only on CBS 4, your official home of the Miami Dolphins. You wanted to talk about what the kick returner did.
Yeah, it's, you always assume everybody knows the rules and et cetera, and to see the kick returner after the ball hits the ground to signal fair catch, he's about to get his block knocked off because the fair catch rules are over once the ball hit the ground.
Starting from the 11-yard line, Alex Tanney, likely will quarterback the rest of this game, came in early. And Andrews off the right side, little juking motion, and gets about 7 yards before Howard makes the tackle.
Good tackle by Howard.
Well, here's tonight's trivia question brought to you by Toyota. The NFL announced earlier this year that Super Bowl 54 will be held here at Hard Rock Stadium. South Florida is currently tied with which other metropolitan area as the most frequent host of the event? You can play along with us by sending in your answers to the hashtag FinsOn4. No, let the people guess. I know you know, that's for sure. And it's not Rice Stadium in Houston. And here's the pass out in the flat. And wrestling out, Howard makes the play on the receiver Andrew Terzilli. And a gain of 1. So Howard, seeing his first action after knee surgery.
That's Xavier. For you watchers or viewers who don't know, that's Xavier Howard, our number 2 draft pick this year, who's been out of preseason. This is his first game that he's playing, and we need him to really step up and be a force over there.
Jordan Lucas has come in as a extra defensive back, extra corner on third down and 3. Tanney, pass caught, first down, and the catch is made by Justin Hunter, and Howard was there to make the tackle, but they moved the sticks with a 6-yard pickup.
And guys, even though that ball was completed to Justin, you can see the quick-like recovery ability of Howard as he's able to get there right as he's catching the ball to make the stop.
Titans on the 24. Started from the 11. We'll go to Andrews, head of steam, and he is brought down by Spencer Pasinger after a 4-yard pickup on first down. Mike Mularkey, no nonsense. He's coached other teams before. He was with Pittsburgh for many years. And he's got Mariota, who potentially could be an outstanding quarterback, but he's got two great runners in DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry. 2nd and 5. We go to Andrews again. And this time limited to a yard.
Much better job that time by the linebackers filling the hole. There was just no crease. Good job by the defensive line of getting a stalemate at the line of scrimmage.
So now it'll be 3rd down and 2. 3 wide receivers. Ben Roberts split to the left. And on 3rd and 2, here's the big pass. It's caught by Trey McBride as he got it past Lucas, the extra back in the game. So the rookie Jordan Lucas beaten on the play by McBride, and a gain of 25. Neville Hewitt, by the way, did put good pressure on Alex Tanney.
Yeah, he comes free, Dick, and all he needs is just a jam on the receiver, and he gets there for the sack. Lucas got beat right at the line of scrimmage, and the ball was able to come out on good timing, avoided the sack.
Into Dolphin territory, 1st and 10 at the 43 of Miami. Now they put a tight end in the backfield for protection. And here's wide. Here's the pass. And this pass is going to be caught by Hunter. Justin Hunter makes the catch. It'll be another 1st down at the 28. Chalk up 15 more yards for Tennessee. And they're playing fast right now.
Yeah, they look like they want to work on their passing game, see what they've got in their 2nd and 3rd receiver. You know, most people don't realize that the 4th game, that's what you do. You look at the guys that you're trying to make a decision on to make your football team. You want to feature them.
From the 28, play action. Tanney, and he has a wide open receiver, Philip Supernaw. And Supernaw with another 1st down, getting inside the 10-yard line. 19 yards. What chunks of yardage the top Tennessee offense is picking up here.
Little fake to the left, and he rolls out to the right. The tight end comes across the formation. This is a play that everybody in the league runs, and I think we should run it more often.
I will say this, Adam Gase, I have a feeling we're not seeing 80% of what you're going to see, maybe more than that.
Right. I agree with that.
1st and goal at the 9. And here's Andrews, and Andrews gets inside the 5. I don't think there's any question, you guys know it, we know it, that we haven't nearly scratched the surface of what that offense is.
And that's nothing new. I mean, I did that back when I was calling plays. We played 6 preseason games, and I would hold all these plays back for the 1st and 2nd games of the regular season.
It's the 4th preseason game, and you play this team during the regular season. There's no reason you would want to show anything at this point in time.
2nd and goal from the 4, and the handoff is to Andrews, and Andrews is in for the touchdown. 2nd TD of the 1st half for Antonio Andrews, and the Titans with an impressive offensive showing there. And you're right, Tennessee will come here on Sunday, October 9th, Nat, and that'll be the first of 3 straight home games for the Dolphins here.
Even more reason that a lot of the stuff that you're going to run during the regular season you're not going to show, and give them tape on it and give them some idea how to defense it.
Rosas in to kick the extra point. I think you're going to see a lot of those plays earmarked for the tight end in the middle of the field. We haven't seen any of them in preseason.
No. I don't think Deion Sims has caught one ball. And he is really your lead tight end.
Checking to see
We will
whether
review the previous play.
Trying to see if that knee is down before he goes in. Like that's a touchdown, guys. Neville Hewitt is the linebacker in the picture that, he muscles up, but just a great job of running by Antonio Andrews. Real strong running by the tailback.
Yeah, that was the end of a 89-yard drive.
Right, they started from the 11, Bob. Very impressive. They played fast, and they picked up really huge chunks of yardage.
Touchdown.
So the touchdown makes it 20-7, and now Aldrich Rosas will attempt the extra point. Titans have beaten the Chargers and the Raiders in preseason, lost to Carolina. They won games 1 and 3, just as the Dolphins have. And this kick is good, 21-7 in favor of the Tennessee Titans, and Andrews scoring 2 touchdowns in this first half. Stay with CBS 4 at halftime as Rick Folbaum and Rudabeh Shahbazi anchor our coverage back in the CBS 4 news studios in Miami. They'll have the latest news and weather, and don't miss Bo Camper at the Little Havana restaurant in North Miami.
It looks good.
Lonzo played his college ball at Oregon, and he said that Chip Kelly, who started with the 49ers, or now started with the Eagles, now with the 49ers, very much like Adam Gase, he said.
Yep. Grew up in California. And the Dolphins need him to have a big year.
Yes, no question. Playing the middle, and he's got good speed. Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2013 with the Bills. There is Kenyon Drake. We haven't seen him in the backfield yet. He's been returning kicks. This will be his 4th tonight. And this one will go out of the end zone, and Miami will start from the 25. Zach Dysert handling this first half. 5 of 8 for 49 yards.
Dysert they've had 6 possessions, and none of them have been longer than 4 plays.
Now Kenyon Drake is in the backfield, so we're going to see Drake as a runner. This great speed, it's renowned, but he's been bothered by the hamstring that wouldn't go away. Still says he's not 100%. But here is Drake with the carry going outside, and Kenyon Drake gets knocked out of bounds after picking up 9 yards. And a flag is down.
They'll probably call this back, guys, but you see the burst of Kenyon Drake.
Number 87, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That was the receiver, Rashawn Scott, nullifying the 9-yard pickup.
Here's a look at the hole there. You just cannot get that hand across. And,
put that on a holding reel.
That's a rookie mistake. And when you got a guy with speed like Drake, you don't have to hold. He'll beat that first guy, just on speed alone most of the time.
First down and 20. Scott, Florida guy all the way. Played his college ball at Miami. And this pass is going to be caught by Griff Whalen. So Whalen gets some of that yards back. They still need about 7 for the first down. Picking up 12 as we wind down to the 2-minute warning. So Adam Gase
this is the 2-minute
calling
warning.
the plays for Zach Dysert. Brandon Doughty expected him to play the second half. 21-7, 2 minutes to go in the half. 2 minutes to go in the half. Jarvis Landry, Damian Williams, and Ryan Tannehill.
One of the things you want to have is quarterback-receiver chemistry and trying to make sure they're always on the same page. There you see the the running back coach, Danny Bassett, and he's got a bevy of guys.
Second down and 7 at the 28. Each team has 3 timeouts remaining, and this pass caught and hit right away is gripped Whalen by Curtis Riley after picking 3 up. So it'll be third down and let's say 4.
Timeout. Tennessee, first team timeout.
Timeout called by Tennessee.
And guys, it's Danny Barrett. I screwed up and called him Bassett, but you know, a local kid that from right up there in Boca Raton, Palm Beach, Pompano area, that came back and is coaching here. Did a nice job at UCF up there in Orlando for a while, and has done an exceptionally good job of getting these young backs ready to play. They work hard. You know, it's been great going to training camp and watching practice this year. The energy, the excitement is just a breath of fresh air, Robert.
Third down and 4. 2 timeouts left for the Dolphins, all 3 for Tennessee. Kenyon Drake has been in this entire series at running back. And this time Dysert completes the pass in stride. Leonte Carew in stride, picking up 9 yards and a first down to the 40.
I like that. What Dysert did, that's the best thing that he's done this half. Little pressure, slides to his right, keeps his vision downfield, and connects with the pass.
Hurry up for the Dolphins, and Dysert in trouble, but he completes the pass to Griff Whalen. Whalen, and gets 9 yards on that play.
You know, Whalen is what you call a quarterback's safety blanket. He knows how to find an open spot. Quarterback's in trouble. He finds an open area, gives the quarterback a target to throw the ball to.
Second down and 1, and we'll have a false start. Mehdi Abdesmad has been in on Dysert the last 2 plays.
False start. Number 60 offense. 5-yard penalty remains, second down.
That's the center, Craig Urbick. So instead of second down and 1, it'll be second down and 6 with 1:07 on the clock.
Did you see a penalty there?
I didn't see that unless he moved the football, you know, which is an old trick by, you know, the centers.
Second and 6. Pass is incomplete, intended for Whalen. So now third down.
This field, by the way, I don't know if we mentioned it, but it is in excellent shape. Paspalum, that's the name of the grass. Usually put that on golf courses, Nat, but we were walking on the field before the ball game, and it
thicker grass.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Let's see if the Dolphins can convert this third down.
They're on the 44. And Dysert gets rid of it, and it's off the hands of Whalen, incomplete. Covered on the play by Kevin Byard. This is what you guys are talking about, the thicker grass.
Thicker grass, much better wear and tear surface.
Yes.
And grass that's used on most golf courses throughout the Caribbean and Hawaii.
Just soft to walk on.
So the penalty hurt because the Dolphins had a second down and 1 near midfield. So Matt Darr will have to kick to Kalen Reed. And now with under a minute to go, let's see what the Titans do. They have 3 timeouts left. And Reed on the return fumbles. Dolphins have it. Darren Rizzi. That's the third takeaway by the Miami Dolphins. 2 on defense, 1 on special teams. John Denny, the long snapper, makes the recovery.
And I think the hit is made by Daniel Thomas there.
You're right.
Shaking it loose. Here's a running back trying to make this football team and showing that he's also a fantastic special teams player. As you can see, Darren Rizzi doesn't get too excited.
No, he's calm out there. You want Bobby April is the special teams coach for Tennessee. How excited does he get? Anyway, Daniel Thomas remains in. Good special teams play for him, and he remains in at running back. First down on the 23 of the Titans with 47 seconds left and 2 timeouts remaining. There's Bobby April, and this is a review of the turnover, I believe, going on right now. April, been around a long time. animated as he. Now it's confirmed. Let's see what Dysert and the Dolphins can do late here in the second quarter. And here's a pass to Thomas, and Thomas picks up a couple. Sean Spence has played very well. Former Steeler. Good tackle there, and the Dolphins
30-second timeout.
will call the timeout. It's the Dolphins who have 2 timeouts net, I believe, and Tennessee has 2. If you miss any of tonight's contests, and it's still going on, by the way, or just want to watch it again, catch Dolphin Preseason re-airs on our sister station, WBFS, MyTV 33. This contest with the Titans will re-air at midnight on Sunday. So each team with 2 timeouts left. Daniel Thomas next to Dysert in the backfield. Dysert trying to find somebody in trouble, fires, and it's intercepted by Kevin Byard. Byard makes the interception. And I'm not sure, I think Rashawn Scott was the receiver in the end zone he wanted to get it to. But the interception will give Tennessee the ball again with a half a minute left.
Dysert was outside the pocket, had a lot of room to run, wanted to go for the touchdown, just didn't get it over the defensive man's head.
Well, this is just a bad decision to throw that football at that point in time. If he's not wide open, you tuck it down and you run.
Oh, for sure.
The Dolphins have had 3 takeaways and have only been able to capitalize and put 7 points on the board.
And, of course, you know, you're in field goal range, so, you know, it's still the first quarter, and didn't work out, and that'll be the last play of the first half. And the halftime score will be the Tennessee Titans 21 and the Miami Dolphins 7. Stay with CBS 4 as we send it back to Rick and Rudabay in our CBS 4 News Studios in Miami. And don't miss part 1 of our 4 More on the Fins feature on Kiko Alonso. So that Bob, Kim, and I will be back with the Xfinity halftime report and the second half after this news update.
Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Tonight's telecast is also sponsored in part by your South Florida Volkswagen dealers. Drive safer, drive smarter, drive for less. Now at Volkswagen. By TD Bank. And by Jeep. See your Jeep dealer today and experience the freedom that comes with legendary capability. Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Tonight's telecast is also sponsored in part by your South Florida Volkswagen dealers. Drive safer, drive smarter, drive for less. Now at Volkswagen. By TD Bank. And by Jeep. See your Jeep dealer today and experience the freedom that comes with legendary capability.
Welcome back to Hard Rock Stadium, where at the half our score, the Tennessee Titans 21 and the Miami Dolphins 7. And as promised, it's time for the Xfinity halftime report. And right off the bat, here are your Xfinity halftime highlights. Nat, let's talk about Xavier Howard.
Well, the second round draft pick by the Miami Dolphins this year. There's a look at the quarterbacks there, Robert.
Yeah, Dysert would love to have that one back. He just threw it a little bit early and a little bit too long. You know, you just can't make something out of nothing when it's not there. And he tried to make something.
And now here's Howard. We saved the best for last.
Yeah, defensively, the Dolphins played fairly decent. Didn't do a great job against the run. There you see Howard coming up, making the play after the catch. Did a nice job of tackling. Good job of driving on the football. And even when he got beat on a deep ball, guys, he was able to show that recovery speed. So, good outing so far.
And here are your Xfinity halftime stats. And there you see the Dolphins rushing for 18 and passing for 85. Quick thoughts from Bob and Nat here.
I'll let you go first,
I think Dowdy's going to come back in the second half. He's going to play. I think he's going to play well. They've got to do something with the turnovers. They've gotten 3 turnovers and only scored 1 time.
And when I look at the running game, if you're going to beat good football teams, you got to be able to stuff the run, get them off the field, get the ball back for your offense to be able to score. They've taken it away 3 times defensively, as Bob talked about, but ironically, they're still able to run the ball with will.
Adam Gase said he wanted to see about running more because we have been passing, so especially with the back. So let's check in with the 4th member of our team. Bo, what do you have?
All right, well, I talked to Adam Gase. He was walking in the locker room, and I can tell you this. He was said his offense couldn't get out of their own way. Certainly disappointed that they weren't able to continue drives, get things going that way. I'm talking about Zach Dicer. Said, well, it was a mixed bag. He did some good things. Would have hoped that at that last play, that interception in the end zone, would have wished he had thrown it to the back of the end zone and maybe had a chance back there. That's about Xavier Howard. He says he's going to have to watch the tape, but what he saw, he felt pretty good about. Kenyon Drake, he's going to get more carries out here in the second half. And I asked him if there are still jobs up for grabs in this last 30 minutes. He said, absolutely, there are. I said, how many do you think? Between 1 and 3? He said, yeah, that's about the right number. So we'll see if anyone can grab a job here in the last 30.
All right, Bo, if you said 9 or 10, he might have agreed with you there. I don't know, but he agreed with you, and that was good. So Titans will get the ball first. And Andrew Franks will be booting the ball. Kalen Reed is back. There is Reed. The Titans leading 21-7. All of their touchdowns scored by their running backs. Derrick Henry has 1 and Antonio Andrews 2, all on short yardage plays. Underway in the second half. And the Titans will take it out on the 20. Well, to listen to tonight's game in Spanish, be sure to enable the secondary audio programming or SAP button on your viewing device. SAP services tonight are brought to us courtesy of Duffy's Sports Grill. Well, we have not seen Marcus Mariota, and Matt Castle played 1 series, and then Alex Tanney, who's been in, played in 1 game last year for the Titans, and threw a touchdown pass out of Monmouth College in Illinois, starting from the 25. Bishop Sankey now at running back, and pretty good showing there as he gets 12 yards on the first play, stopped by Shamil Gary.
And guys, because of Xavier Howard's ability and projection of being the starter on opening day, he's out of the game now. You've got Rasan Melvin lining up at the left cornerback position.
Former Patriot in his 3rd year, Melvin, number 5. First down at the 37. Here's Sankey again, and a great play made by Cleon Lang, who had 16 sacks with the Toronto Argonauts of the CFL, played his college ball at Iowa State, and a loss of 3 on that play.
I talked with Coach Williams, Terrell Williams, who's coaching the tackles, and he really likes this young man out of Canada, and felt like, he's played his heart out. He's just got, he's against a stacked deck because that defensive line is really a lot of quality players there, but he feels like this kid could play at the NFL level.
Candidate for the practice squad.
Second down and 13. Sankey again going outside and getting tripped up. It was Shamil Gary, and Lippett made the play. 4-yard pickup, and that'll bring up 3rd down and long for the Titans.
Shamil Gary is a guy that's also fighting for his roster spot, or an NFL roster spot, as he's battling with Walt Aikens for that 4th safety position. Has made some good plays. He's the 2nd leading tackler this preseason for the Dolphins defense.
Gary, Lucas, and A.J. Hendy, all good special teams players, and Bishop Sankey and Chris Jones comes in there. Chris Jones, you talk about the defensive line and how Lang has done well. You got to like Jones. Really, you'd have to think that it'll be a surprise if he doesn't make this team.
Well, Chris Jones is probably battling Julius Walmsley for that 4th slot. at this point. You know that Jordan Phillips is going to be here, Earl Mitchell's going to be here, Sue, of course. So who's going to be that fourth tackle unless they decide to keep 5?
Jones, of course, has the experience. Walmsley, of course, has come alive with 3 sacks in preseason. Brett Kern kicking, and Griff Whalen. And Whalen sees the Titans had a chance to down it at the 2-yard line. They muffed that one, and now it'll go out to the 20.
Still goes down as a mistake for Whalen. It's a tough thing to do now. You caught punts and, you're inside the 5. Do you catch it or do you let it go?
Just a bad decision if you go back and try and field that football.
The boss is going to be joining us when we come back. We're back here at Hard Rock Stadium. Brandon Doughty is the new quarterback, but we have Stephen Ross, the man who is responsible for this beautiful renovation of this stadium, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, and we're going to talk a few things with Mr. Ross here as we get underway. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Daniel Thomas is the running back, and he gets the carry, and a good run by Thomas as he brings it past the 25. How excited are you, Mr. Ross, at seeing this thing reach fruition?
Well, it was kind of a dream to have a world-class stadium here in Miami, and I think one that'll bring a lot of events to Florida and really signify what South Florida is all about to the rest of the world. So that's very exciting.
2nd down and 4. Well, it's such a compact. The fans are so close to the stadium. People have been talking about how this is maybe one of the best as far as seeing it. Here is Thomas, and he may have a 1st down. Just before we get more into the stadium, tell us about Adam Gase, because a lot of people are saying that you really, struck it rich in getting this coach.
Well, I think so. I mean, I really, spent a lot of time. I had a lot of time more than the other owners, knowing I was looking for a coach, for quite a while. And we did a lot of homework. Didn't really involve a lot of consultants this time. I really spent the time ourselves and kind of revamping the front office. And I think everybody was really working well together, and I think that was important. And I think that we all kind of agreed. And Adam, after doing all the homework before we even met him, on paper, he was certainly the guy I wanted to hire. And after I met him, I was 100% sold.
This was your dream. What are some of the new features that you think the fans are really going to enjoy?
Okay. My dream is to win the Super Bowl, okay?
I like
in this stadium. That's my dream. Okay, just to be sure. It's nice to have a good stadium, but the fans would rather have the Super Bowl here.
And they'll enjoy that too.
They'll enjoy that too in this stadium.
Well, you hope you're playing in it before 2020, I know, but that was one of the big things to accomplish. Play action for Doughty, and Doughty completes the pass to Thomas Duarte, the 7th-round pick, the tight end. And he stopped at the 40-yard line, picks up 5 yards.
This past weekend, the Dolphins signed a long-term contract with Hard Rock.
Right.
How important was it to get a long-term partner of iconic nature like Hard Rock?
Well, I think it was very important. I think the name itself, Hard Rock, and what it does, and says a lot about what Miami's about. This is like an entertainment capital. And certainly Hard Rock, lends itself to that. And having a partner like them that we could do other events and really make this kind of a place for entertainment, not just for football games. And we're looking to bring a lot of great events, to the stadium here, and I think all South Florida will really benefit.
I think one of the things that this is like a 7-month project, from January to the 1st of August.
Right.
Physically. You had the cranes inside the building. You had cranes outside the building. Tom Garfinkel told us you got hundreds of guys working during the day and you got them working all night. And he says you were on the phone every day or most every afternoon at 4 o'clock. You'd have a meeting. What were those conversations like when you had talking with the construction crew?
Well, when we first, when they called us in the middle of December to tell us they didn't think they could get it done on time, I knew I had to do something. There was no alternative. We had nowhere else to play. So I got involved, and it's lucky I'm in the business, and so I got myself involved in our key people up in New York, and we really made sure, really rode herd on these guys to making sure that the stadium would be open for the season. There was no other place to go play. There's no more Orange Bowl.
That's true.
Now, and all of the things you've built and all the things you've accomplished, where does this rank? I know it's different than a lot of things you've done. Where does it rank in a lot of the accomplishments you've
Well, I mean, getting it done on time, it probably ranks as one of the hardest things I've ever done. We're building Hudson Yards, which is now the largest project ever done in the United States, and that's complex, building over rail tracks. But we didn't have the time frame that we had here, that we had to accomplish it in such a short period of time, and it's so complex. I mean, to look at the stadium complete, it looks like, hey, just a little job. Ooh, look at this.
And wide open was Kenyon Drake out of the backfield, so the rookie running back from Alabama, and it was return kicks, and a very good-looking play got past everyone on the defense.
He looked good. We're expecting big things of him. I mean, his speed is fantastic. We just got to keep him healthy.
Here he is.
Yeah, look at him. Way beyond,
And you got to love the way Dowdy put a little air into that, didn't overthrow the running back, got the ball to the open guy.
Yeah, he's looked really good in practice this year. South Florida.
Yeah, Brandon Dowdy, of course, from Davie. He used to watch the Dolphins practice here. All Broward County, two-time Conference USA MVP, and he looks very sharp. This one overthrown.
Could have had that one.
For Marquise Gray.
Steve, before this project was finished, the rest of the owners in this league voted you a Super Bowl. How gratifying was that they had confidence in you and what you were doing down here?
Well, it was gratifying. I mean, first of all, they all want to be in South Florida.
Yeah.
They do the best.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl, this is probably the best place in America to have the Super Bowl, so that helps.
Yeah.
But having a world-class stadium now, I think, we'll be on a regular cycle of getting Super Bowls on a regular basis, which I think is so important for South Florida.
2nd and 10. Thomas cutting upfield. Kenyon Drake, that is, so picking up 2 yards. So this is the first one, and after a couple of road games, it'll all be counting.
It'll be done.
Real.
I mean, we're not 100% complete, as you can tell. In fact, the whole stadium won't be complete till next year. We weren't able to work in the stadium while the roof was being put on, for safety purposes. So the suites are going to be all done, or redone rather, and the big public spaces. And the landscaping around the stadium. So next year will really be complete. But it still looks pretty good.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 8 from the 16, and Dowdy can't get away, and he's sacked back at the 22 by Aaron Wallace. How about these screens? I mean, this is a great place. I mean, you're making coming to the game, an enjoyment for people who are used to watching games on television. They come here and they see all of this.
But that's what it's all about. I mean, today it's so good of experience, at home. You had to really give a person a reason to want to come here and really enhance their experience at a stadium. And I think that's what we've tried to do, and hopefully the fans will react the way we think they will.
39-yard field goal attempt by Andrew Franks is good. And the score now, the Titans 21, the Dolphins 10 here in this third quarter. We're here with the owner, Stephen Ross, as we see the Hard Rock Stadium up close and personal for the first time, and we'll be right back. First football game played here. Stephen Ross, the club owner, and of course, as he has said accurately, the stadium, the playpen is big, but you want the team to be even bigger than the playpen, and that's the goal here. And we're going to ask him, we talked about Adam Gase and how much he was in demand by so many teams, and we'll get specific about it. We can start right now. Tell me what it was when you interviewed him and that you said, I got to have this guy.
Well, I mean, I think we were looking for someone extremely intelligent. It's just like I run my business, who I look for to really run the companies. And you're looking for, I wanted someone young with new ideas, somebody who was extremely intelligent, huge passion, and wanted to win. And that really embodies Adam Gase. And I think, people thought he might have been a little brash. He was too young to be a head coach. I've always believed in going with young people who have that, who have something they really want to prove. And he had the desire to win like nobody I've ever met. And the intelligence to go with it. So, and the way he works, I mean, it's incredible. So I really think that our future is really in good hands. I'm looking at him to be here for a long time, and I really believe in him.
Don Shula, Chuck Noll.
We had a coach like that.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx him, but it sure sounds good.
Shula came in around 38. He was a little brash, you know, and smart, a little cocky. And we told him, the only reason you won right away is because the talent was already here. And he says, what was your record the year before I came? We said 3-10-1. So he changed that pretty quick.
And I think we have some good talent here.
Yes.
And he believes in Ryan Tannehill, and that's important.
Yes.
And it's important to Ryan that the coach believes in him. And I don't think that's what he had in the past.
I think for the first time in 5 years that Ryan has been here, his offensive line is going to be much improved and give him some protection.
Right.
Well, I think Peyton Manning, told somebody in football that Adam Gase is the best coach he ever had on any level.
That's what he had told me. I had spoken to him before we had hired Adam, and that's what he had told me as well. So, I mean, the way you heard people talk about him, that have dealt with him and really researched his past. And we went back and talked to people who played for him, who coached with him, and the respect they had for him was tremendous.
First down at the 25. 5:41 to go in the third quarter. Dolphins with a field goal have cut the lead to 11. Alex Tanney in all the way, and he completes the pass to the 31 to Justin Hunter, getting 6 yards.
We got a chance tonight to see a couple rookies that basically have been a little banged up, a little injured. Xavier Howard as well as Kenyon Drake. What's your thought from everything you've seen here tonight on those two guys?
Well, everything I've heard in their practice, before that. I mean, Kenyon's been, kind of had some injuries with his hamstring, but and so has Xavier. But I think he'll be starting, and they expect great things out of him. His OTAs, he performed great, and before he got hurt, they were really thrilled with him.
That pass is caught by Trey McBride, and Rashawn Melvin there to make a tackle, a gain of 13 yards. And you want to come out of the chute really. It's tough first 2 games, there's no question about it. Then you want to get better. People have told me if this team is better as you go on than it was in the beginning, that's a great first step.
Well, I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, and if you look last week when our first string was playing, they looked pretty good against Atlanta.
Yes.
So, there's a lot of reason for optimism there.
Sankey, nothing. So the first 2 games will be in Seattle and in New England. And then the home opener against the Cleveland Browns, Sunday, September 25th. Griffin III could be here. I say could because you never know what happens.
You don't know what happens any given Sunday.
Right.
So,
and then it's Cincinnati after that. So, and then 3 home games in a row, and it's going to be a good.
I think it's 4 home games in a row.
Yeah, play 4 in a row.
4 home games in a row.
Starting with these Titans on October 9th.
Right.
You actually play 5 home games in the first 8.
Right.
And tough start on the road, starting with Seattle and then having both New England and Cincinnati on the road. But you get a chance to come home and see if you can light this place up, I mean, one of the things I knew that you and I had talked about was a culture change. And, from everything I've seen and everything I've heard, Adam and his coaching staff has done that. They're the teachers. Is that the difference as we look at this football team? Is that something that you and Adam talked about?
I mean, he's really put together a great staff. Besides what I think would be a great head coach, you have to have a good staff to go with it. And certainly, Vance Joseph and the other coaches he's brought in, and their track record and their passion for it as well. So,
Sankey is slowed up by Tyler Gray, linebacker, and of course, don't discount Clyde Christensen, who's been a very important guy, and can do a lot of things in support of what Adam does.
When I speak to Clyde, and he tells me, I asked him why he came down here, and I mean, Ryan Tannehill. He says, the opportunity to work with him and make him a great quarterback. So you hear all these different things, of the people, why they came here, what they expect, and certainly everybody's expectations are great. But we got to, give them a chance. He's their first-time head coach, and new system and everything like that. But I like the course we're on.
Sankey's stop would be a good stop for this defense. And that time it was Neville Hewitt. Pickup of 2 yards, so it's going to be 3rd and about 10.
Bob Greasy and I've been sitting here trying to figure out how many jobs are still open here tonight. When you get in that 4th game, there's 53 players that's going to make this squad. You figure it's 45 to 48. And Greasy is saying it's 2 or 3, but I figure that you got the pipeline to Adam, and you would be the only guy that really knows the answer to that question. And
then we'd be in trouble if I was the only guy.
We'd be in real trouble.
We'd be in real trouble. I respect what they had there.
He's not going to say anything.
I don't interfere when it comes to that.
Nice try, guys.
We're just trying to get a scoop. We're trying to scoop you.
So it is 4th down and a kicking situation. Griff Whalen will go back to return. And Brett Kern will kick off with 1:37 to go. And then Brandon Doughty will come out again and see if he can get more points for the Dolphins in their effort to come back. This is an important game. People are auditioning. What you put on tape here is going to stick with you. Good kick and a fair catch at the 10. Steve Ross, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's been great being here.
Thank you. Thank you
very much.
Always
a pleasure.
Matt, Bob, good seeing you guys.
All right, we're going to take a break right now. Talk to the owner. All he needs is a winning team to go along with a winning stadium. All right, we'll take a timeout.
Preseason football on CBS 4 is sponsored in part by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. By Skull Island Reign of Kong, the colossal new ride for your life. Now open at Universal Orlando Resort. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com.
Brandon Doughty has to bring the team 91 yards. Let's see what he does. Doughty throwing from the end zone, looking, and Doughty's pass is going to be caught at the 21 by Rashawn Scott. Scott with a first down at the 22-yard line, picking up 12 yards. Big play to get him out of trouble.
Big play by Doughty to Scott, but great job by the offensive line. That was a deep comeback by Scott. Looked like he was going on the go route and came out of it. Nice pitch and catch.
Good call, Matt. That took a long time, and he was in his own end zone. Just barely got rid of it before he got hit.
First down at the 21. Here's Kenyon Drake looking for running room. Changes his direction. Here is Drake. And going upstairs, look at this, more than what he deserved. It looked like he was going to be hit for a loss, and he picks up getting 4 yards on the play.
Didn't look like he had a hamstring problem there, did it?
No. Thank you, South Florida, for making Rick, Rudabay, Elliot, Craig, and Jim the news team you get your news from. Watch CBS 4 News at 5, 6, and 11 on the official home of your Miami Dolphins. 2nd and 7, a lot better than 2nd and 12. So Kenyon Drake busting out here, getting something out of nothing. Here's Doughty up the middle, and the pass caught at the 30, about a yard short of a first down. And the catch made by Duarte, 7th-round pick from UCLA. They know he can catch the ball at a touchdown against the Giants.
This is the end of the third quarter.
And that'll do it. That's the end of the third quarter here at Hard Rock Stadium. With the score, the Titans 21 and the Dolphins 10.
Dolphins preseason football on CBS 4 is sponsored in part by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Lindstrom, the air conditioning and plumbing pros that treat you like family. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today.
We start the fourth quarter here at Hard Rock Stadium. The Dolphins trailing the Titans 21-10. Dick Stockton here along with Nat Moore and Bob Greasy. And they were working on Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, just trying to keep him loose, stretching him out, looked like.
On the field they were doing it.
Yeah. You know, when you've got tight hamstrings, you do everything you can to keep them loose.
And he said he wasn't 100% coming into this game. 3rd down and 1 at the 30. Play action. Fake to Drake. And this pass caught for the first down by Rashawn Scott, and he caught it in traffic and has the first down to the 42, picking up 13.
How about the play call? He faked it, a 3rd and 1, get outside the pocket. Everybody was covered, and he completed his pass.
But a nice pitch and catch. Nice job by Scott coming all the way across the field. But this is a perfectly thrown football that was thrown only where Scott can catch it.
He got 3 guys, 3 defensive backs around. He had a defensive lineman in his face running, and he still made the play.
From the 43, first down. Brandon Doughty, 7th round draft pick from Western Kentucky. Hands off to Drake going outside. And the pursuit will stop him for no gain. Austin Johnson, 2nd round pick out of Penn State. And you were talking about Doughty when he had the unfortunate time in the Dallas game. And there was some circumstances surrounding that.
Yeah, he comes in. He's not warmed up. He's not really ready to play. Matt Moore gets knocked out of the ball game, and the offensive line doesn't protect him. He gets knocked out, and the ball comes out, and he didn't get to play anymore. You know, he came back last week, atoned for that versus Atlanta, and then tonight we see him look composed, look like he knows what he's doing, reading the coverage and getting the ball to the open guy.
He did it there, and the pass caught by Gray, and Gray breaks a tackle and may have a first down into Tennessee territory, and I believe he does. First down and a good play made by the former Buffalo Bill, and he got 9.
Former Buffalo Bill. I go back further than that with this guy.
Well, last year he was with the Bills.
Yeah, I know, but in college, he was at Minnesota, University of Minnesota. He was a quarterback.
A Golden Gopher.
Yes, Marquise Gray was a quarterback.
And he's in a battle fighting Duarte, who's the rookie out of UCLA, as well as Dominique Jones, who's had a pretty good training camp. But, you know, he's made a couple of nice runs after the catch, you know, that yak.
Play action. And there's a pass to Brooke Whalen. Whalen with a first down at the 32. And again, Wes Welker, you name some of these possession guys who are pests. They are pests out there. And he's a pest to the 2 to 16.
Griff is a great route runner. That time he comes wide open. He goes down, sells the defender as he's going up the field. And there you see the defender is not even in the picture until after the catch. That's just a great route by Griff.
And a very nice throw.
Yeah, you're right, Bob. And you know, that's a great change of pace when you got the Stills, Landrys, and Parkers on your team.
Oh, yeah.
First down at the 32. And Daniel Thomas. Daniel Thomas has been a workhorse in late games, and one thing that Adam Gay said, I don't want to overwork him. You know, he's been the workhorse. He has 22 carries so far in preseason.
The other thing about Daniel Thomas, number 30, remember that special teams play he made earlier in the game? That'll go a long way towards helping him make this team.
Former number 2 pick.
And guys, if not this team, showing that he can play special teams, showing that he can still run the football. He can catch the football. There's 31 other teams. Some of them need quality running backs.
2nd and 6 now from the 28. And a penalty.
Snap infraction, 75, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Jamil Douglas playing center.
I don't know what happened there, because there was a man that was supposed to be coming in motion before the ball even got snapped. And he didn't get past the center.
Well, it's kind of tough, Bob, when the center don't know the snap count. Because he obviously snapped it early.
Well, they forget too, you know.
2nd down and 11 at the 33. And the pass out and off the hands of Thomas. Let's go down to Kim Bokamper.
All right, time now for our player profile brought to you by Geico. We're talking about rookie tight end Thomas Duarte. You talked about him, 7th round draft pick out of UCLA. Bit of a tweener, played wide receiver at UCLA, converted to a tight end. He's got 2 catches tonight. You know that Jordan Cameron, Deion Sims have their jobs. He's battling out for a spot between Dominic Jones, Marquise Gray. One thing he's got to do, he's got to figure out how to block better, get guys off the line of scrimmage. You've seen that he can catch the ball throughout the course of the preseason. We'll see if that's enough work to get him a job when the regular season rolls around, fellas.
All right, Bo, 3rd down and 11, and here comes the rush on Dowdy, and Dowdy is sacked back at the 45 by Curtis Riley. He had no chance there, coming from the blind side, and a big loss on the play, and that'll get him out of field goal range as well. Loss of 11.
You got to see this. He's looking right at the left side. He knows it's coming, whether it was supposed to be blocked or not. Now he's looking to just throw the ball away. Everybody's running away from him. He'll learn from that play.
Matt Darr kicking. Kevin Byard is back. Kicking inside the 20, and the Dolphins had 2 players down there, but it just bounced into the end zone, and it would have been nice. You can't blame the players because it just hit and rolled. It just took a shot. So Darren Rizzi wished it had been down at the 1. They'll take it out on the 20 and live with that.
Pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
And now it's time for tonight's Fan Cam presented by Amazon. Welcome to Hard Rock Stadium, fans. 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Titans. Sankey gets a hole, and Sankey will have it looks like a 1st down. Jordan Lucas finally made the tackle, and it is a 1st down for Tennessee. Out to the 31. Under 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Sankey knocked back for a loss this time. It was James Burgess out of Louisville. And Burgess could be playing to show another team what he could be capable of doing.
He's behind Jelani Jenkins, who has been the starting weak side linebacker, and Neville Hewitt, who's a outstanding special teams. James Burgess has had a pretty good camp. Just it's hard to crack that top 2 lineup.
2nd down and 12. Jelani Jenkins, minor knee surgery, cleaning up something. He's been a starter. And there is quarterback Tanny, sacked by Cleon Lang. So Lang, tell you the backup tackles, Lang, Jones, Wormsley have all done something tonight.
Yes, they have.
And Lang actually plays both tackle and defensive end, so they've cross-trained him. And he's a young man that, like I said earlier, Coach Williams really liked this kid, but not sure they're going to be able to hold on to him.
Jordan Williams, defensive end, shaken up and being tended to. We're going to take a timeout. A question brought to you by Toyota. Well, the NFL announced earlier this year that Super Bowl 54 will be held in the newly renovated Hard Rock Stadium. South Florida is currently tied with which other metropolitan area as the most frequent host of the event? We'll tell you after this play. 3rd down and 20. Tanny flips it to Sankey, and they just get some yards out of it. It'll be 4th down. Tackled by Hewitt and Burgess. And the answer is New Orleans. Yes, New Orleans. They've had 10 Super Bowls. So this next Super Bowl in Miami will be its record-breaking 11th. 5 in the Orange Bowl, and now 6 at this venue.
But that's going to be the what? The 100th year of the NFL?
100th year of the NFL,
The
and the
54th
54th Super Bowl.
Kern to kick, and we're going to see Whalen again. Good kick by Kern, sending Whalen over to the sideline. Nothing he can do there. And we'll take a timeout. We have 7:50 remaining. Dolphins still trailing by 11. Team menu brought to you by Duffy's Sports Grill. That's the home schedule. And you got Cleveland, you got these Tennessee Titans on October the 9th. Pittsburgh and Buffalo. And the Jets, 4 straight home games. And then San Francisco, Arizona. And the New England Patriots. 1st and 10 at the 23 for Brandon Doughty. Drake remains the running back. And holding on to it was Doughty.
Well, that's not a question.
Okay.
It's called Trick Nat Night.
Well,
I'm listening.
We got time to do a lot of it.
Okay, this is the 4th preseason game.
Yes.
Why do all of the teams in the league, all 32 teams, play their final preseason game on Thursday night?
Now, if you can't answer that.
It's extremely simple, Bob. You know, the fact that you get the additional days to practice, you also have to have a cut down come Saturday. It allows you an opportune time to make those cuts, figure out who's going to be on your team, and get prepared to open the season, as well as once you get down to the 53, you get to bring back 10 players on your practice squad. So a lot of it has to do with the ability to get rid of players, restructure your team, and then get ready for the open
And look
season.
at the waiver list, and there are a lot of guys. In fact, I guarantee you the Dolphins will be looking at that.
See, that was a softball, wasn't it?
I was going to say,
soft.
can you have a tough one for him? 3rd and 12. Doughty stepping up and trying to get it to.
Was hit as he was throwing.
Yes, he was hit. Jakeem Grant was the. We haven't seen Jakeem Grant there as a wide receiver in quite a while, and we'll probably see him the rest of the game, hopefully. So it'll be 4th down, and Carr will be kicking to Kevin Byard. Bob, that was a cream puff question.
No, but I want to follow up on it.
That's the Bob I know.
Okay. Byard back pedaling to the 27. And good coverage by the Dolphins. It's important who makes the plays here on coverage for the Miami Dolphins. And it was Dominique Jones, by the way. That won't hurt him. He is back. Kevin James returns to CBS. Catch the new comedy, Kevin Can Wait. New this fall, only on CBS, your official home of the Miami Dolphins. David Fluellen, in a running back now. Alex Tanney played virtually his entire game at quarterback for the Titans, starting from their 33 and leading 21-10. Fluellen breaks a tackle, and that's all. And it was Neville Hewitt who wrapped him up.
Good penetration that time by Julius Walmsley. Just not able to make the tackle, but good penetration, getting in the backfield, creating havoc.
The importance of a good start, Bob Greasy and Nat Moore, to this schedule, because in recent years we know what's happened in the season.
Well, it's important, but it's not, it's not fatal if you don't get off to a good start. I think you have to be realistic. Starting in Seattle and starting the second game in New England, I think you have to look back to the way we finished last year. We finished, New England came down to our place right here on this field. And New England was going into the playoffs, and if they would have won that game, they certainly had a lot to play for. If they would have won the last game of the season right here in our ballpark, they would have had the championship game against Denver in their place and not at Denver. But we beat them, and so they lost that title game in their place, and they had to go to Denver. So we can beat New England. We can beat Seattle. We just have to play pretty good football.
Short of the first down, the pass caught by Fluellen, and Burgess makes the play.
Yeah, one of the things, guys, I went back and looked at is that, when the Dolphins have played well the first half of the season, when they've had a better than 500 record, they had a chance and most times could finish the season and get into the playoffs. But I think it's similar to what you guys talk with Steve Ross about, the improvement each and every week. You start with a very tough schedule. You're playing 3 games against opponents on the road that were in the playoffs last year. And you come home and you play Cleveland. So realistically, it's not fatal, but if you're playing well and somehow or another can get to the second half of the season 500 or better, you've got a good shot at making the playoffs.
We'll be right back as the Dolphins will begin from the 20 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The Titans leading the Dolphins 21-10. Brandon Doughty has played this entire second half after Zach Dysert played the first half. Doughty has completed 8 of 10 for 98 yards. Whalen has caught 5 passes for Sean Scott 4. And the handoff to Daniel Thomas. And Thomas picking up 6 yards, make it 7 on first down.
I'll tell you, at the end of the night, Daniel Thomas is going to be a tired young man, but
we knew that,
he has put some good tape out there. He has looked really good, not just on special teams, but also running the football, running tough, getting his pads low, finding creases.
What was he, a second-round draft pick a few years ago for the Dolphins? We let him go. He went played somewhere else. Now he's back trying to make an impression again, and he certainly has.
It'll be third down and about 4.
And now you talked about the cut down that is Saturday at 4 o'clock.
To 53.
Every team has to cut from 75 to 53. That's 22 players. Times 32 teams in the league. That's over 700 players that are going to be out there. Now, the Dolphins are going to be looking at that stuff. I mean, if they're looking at one of these 700 or 2 of these 700 that are better than the ones that they may keep on their 53, they're going to be, picking them up and letting them go again.
Well, you figure they will.
Certainly.
And this pass is dropped at the 32-yard line by Griff Whalen.
Now, the teams that really benefit from this or really change a lot are the weaker teams in the league. The weaker teams, and they're taking them usually from the stronger teams, like the New Englands and the Seattles and the Denvers. Like if they cut a defensive guy, he's probably going to be pretty good because that defense of Denver's pretty good.
Well, what do you think, if you're looking on the waiver wire, the crystal ball out there, what positions do you think might be attractive?
Well, it's hard to say, but there's been a lot of talk about the linebacker position as well as the cornerback position. And ironically, when you look at it from a standpoint of where the Dolphins get the claim at, they're number 8.
Yeah, boy, and the worst team in the league gets the first pick, and
another way of supplementing your team and trying to take the bottom third. And really, it's not even the bottom third. It's 3 or 4 guys. That's the last of the 53 that hopefully you can improve your squad.
I think you're right, Nat. I think the linebacker spot is one area that
corner also.
And corner, yeah.
First down at the 37. And basically, it's the backups that you're looking at. There's Fluellen. Good run by Fluellen. Gets about 8 yards on first down. And the starter, they're pretty much set with the starters, even though Adam Gay's still learning his team to an extent, feeling out process. That's why you can't expect sudden success. All of it just doesn't happen that way.
No, I mean, like anything, you've got to figure out what you've got to figure out what else you need. And he's going through a learning process.
2-minute warning. 21-10, Titans. Two minutes to go, a 21-10 lead for the Titans. And after the postgame, Be sure to keep it right here for the CBS 4 News. Rick Ballbaum and Rudabeh Shabazi will have all of today's news, weather, and more. And you don't want to miss David Sutter's special behind-the-scenes look at the broadcast control room right here at the stadium. CBS 4 News comes your way at the conclusion of tonight's Dolphins postgame. Do you know how all this stuff goes? The technical director who punches in the shots and all that?
I have no clue.
Well, then you better watch this thing. Second down and 2. Second effort, and may have made it. That was Llewellyn, hard runner, isn't he? Chris Jones finally brought him down, and it's a first down for the Titans.
And Llewellyn is the 6th running back.
Yes.
And the Titans stable of backs.
Titans, by the way, open at home against the Minnesota Vikings, who were really sitting pretty with Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah,
and then they suffered that devastating injury.
Teddy Bridgewater from right here in town.
Northwestern High School.
Northwestern.
You're going to run it out. That's
tough
a tough
injury.
Yeah, tough injury.
Dislocated the knee and tore the tendon in there, and
nobody hit him.
No one hit him.
It was a non-contact practice injury. It just, I can't imagine tearing your knee up.
So Sean Hill, the veteran backup there, but really when you lose a starting quarterback like that, you know, you're looking at one that a lot of people have high hopes for, Marcus Mariota, and of course, and Ndamukong Suh on the sideline. But Mariota, second pick after Jameis Winston, who went to Tampa Bay last year. I don't know how the first two quarterbacks picked this year, Goff and Wentz, will make out in comparison to them. I don't know if they're as good, or at least not yet, but will be, possibly.
Yeah. But even when you look at it and you start losing quarterbacks, especially at this point of the season, where it's hard to find a quality quarterback to replace him.
You're right, no question about it. You're behind the 8 ball if you lose your starting quarterback, and that's just the way it is. That's going to run down the time. Preseason is over. Titans end up 3-1. Dolphins 2-2 as they go down to defeat, losing to Tennessee tonight 21-10. And there's Kiko Alonso and Marcus Mariota, both from the University of Oregon. They were both Ducks. This game is history. But we have a lot more coming up. We'll wrap up this game. And then the Dolphin postgame show. We're going to try and break down the roster. Nat Moore has some opinions about it. We'll see whether Bob agrees. All of that heading your way. We'll be back.